great to be here. My first time in Morocco, my first time in Africa above the Sahara, which is awesome. I'm very much looking forward to that. There was a little bit of anxiety before we started with the sound system. I think the sound system that we have here is Dutch, okay? Because Dutch people don't want to work on Saturdays, basically. But we will be working around it. So this is about agility, about agile. And I have noticed that people have been walking around this chair and this table here for the last 20 minutes. I will show you what agile is. Et voilà. Continuous improvement. You see something that doesn't work well, you improve it. You don't ask permission, you just do it, okay? You make the world a little bit a better place, because now I have space to move around. So, anyways, some people perhaps know me from my book, Management 3.0, that sort of made me famous or infamous in the Agile world. I will be giving some examples of that in this talk. How to change the world. Bad microphone. A small book that I wrote as a self-publishing experiment. You can get it for free. Just go to my website, subscribe to my mailing list, download the book, and unsubscribe. Easy. Anyone can do that. Simple. Simple. And then Managing for Happiness is the last one. I will give you some examples of that as well. And I was here yesterday. Woohoo! I did a bit of running. I run every day. I will tell you about that a bit later on. So I ran to the mosque, the Hassan II Mosque. Is that correct? Yes. It looked beautiful. Along the boulevard, so 5 kilometers. And I'm so happy that I can do that nowadays. I have an awesome job. I really have an amazing job. It wasn't like that 20 years ago when I was young. I was a software developer. I studied software engineering at the university in Delft in the Netherlands. But I was so bad at writing software that my team promoted me away into management so that I couldn't do any harm anymore. Little did they know that I could do a lot of harm as a manager, actually. I had no idea how to manage people. I was used to working with computers. So managing software developers, for me, software developers were computers on legs with hair. I gave them instructions. They never followed them. I tried to debug them, didn't work. Didn't work with software developers. So I was not really good at managing people, and I was treating the organization like a machine, and that is not a good metaphor. It's not good. The organization is not a machine, and it led to bad performance of me and the companies that I worked for. But now everything changed. I'm in Morocco. Woohoo! That's amazing. And next week I will be in Budapest, and the week after I will be traveling to Australia to talk about all these things: agility, innovation, leadership. So I'm very proud and happy with the job, but it took me a while to get there. I'm 50 years old now. I know I look 23, but I'm 50 years old already, so it took me a while to learn how to be more agile, how to be a better leader. And I'll give you some examples. I was Chief Information Officer for a number of years, 7 years at a company, Rotterdam, my hometown. And I thought it would be good to invite people to my house for dinner. That was a crazy idea that I knew that change works best when you stuff people's mouths, right? Just feed people. That is the best way to achieve change. That is psychological proven research behind that. So I thought, I'm going to invite colleagues to my house. I invited two software developers, an account manager, and a project manager, and the human resource manager. And came to my house. I told them, and now you do the cooking. Surprise! They didn't expect that. Then the software developer said, okay, we will do the main course, and the project manager and the account manager, we will do the appetizers, and the system administrator, can we get a better microphone? Because this is super annoying. Maybe you can work on it. So the system administrator did the desserts. And of course, being a system administrator, he did not allow anyone to touch the chocolate without permission. And we had fun. We had fun in the kitchen, and I had a very important management role. I poured the drinks. Okay, very important leadership role there. I also picked the recipes. I did the groceries. I prepared the environment for them. Is it over there? Is that a better? Okay. Checking. Okay. So I prepared the environment. I managed the system for them, and that for me is an example of leadership. They had to do all the work, but I prepared that kitchen. Another example. I told my CEO that it would be good to celebrate things every now and then, because we were always rushing from one project to the other, never standing still, always busy. And I said, it would be nice to have a moment to just enjoy what we have achieved. And he said, okay, what do you suggest? I said, well, maybe ring a bell, something that makes a bit of noise, because we had a big open office space in our company in Rotterdam. So I forgot about the conversation, but then 2 weeks later, the CEO came to my desk with a big copper ship's bell. This is the actual bell that he brought to me. I have no idea where he stole it. Probably some Dutch ship has sunk since then or somewhere. But anyways, it gave me the bell, and I was like, whoa, awesome, a ship's bell. So I brought the bell to the office manager, sorry. And she put it next to the coffee machine. And from that moment, anyone was allowed to ring the bell for anything. It could be a new project delivered. It could be a new baby delivered. The company didn't do that. The employees might have done. So, and anyone could ring the bell. And it made a huge, terrible noise. You could not ignore it, basically. 200 people would hear the noise, and then they would come to the coffee machine as fast as possible, because they knew if you hear the sound, there are probably cookies and cake, food. And then the one who rang the bell would say, well, this is the reason what we celebrate. Everyone applauded, and then, yeah, yum, 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 and then back to work. It took just 10 minutes. The funny thing is, true story, the last time I heard the bell was when the CEO announced to the whole company that I had quit my job. It's a true story. So, anyways, the bell is still there, and I'm proud of that, because I added something to the culture of the company. They still ring the bell. I was there 2 years ago. They still have it. I asked, are you still ringing the bell? Yes, we just did that last week. And I felt proud because I added something to the company culture. Those are just two examples of practices. I call them Management 3.0 practices, and I will explain a bit later what Management 3.0 is. But I will give you some more examples. I quit my job. I became independent, a speaker, a workshop trainer, a writer, but I still formed my own team remotely, a remote team with people working all across the world, even in India and in Argentina, etc. But that's really hard. That's quite difficult to work as a team together when everyone is in a different location, and most of the time you see each other on video calls. So I thought, how can we invest a bit of time in each other, in learning about each other as a team, because there's always this rush to just talk about work, but then you know nothing about the others, the stuff that you share near the coffee machine or the water cooler. So I thought, mind mapping, which is Philippe Elie is doing here. It's a nice mind map. Thank you so much for doing that. Mind mapping is a great exercise, a great visual technique for capturing information about something. So I thought, can I mind map people? That would be a nice experiment. Why not? Let's try. So I created a mind map of myself. Right? This is me, Jurgen over here. These are my hobbies and values and work. This is a few years ago, so probably things have changed since then. But I just filled the page with whatever came to mind about myself. And then I asked the same of my colleagues, of my team members. This is Lisette. And Lisette already adapted the idea because she's a more visual person. So she used pictures. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea. And she used pictures to fill her mind map with her boyfriend and her favorite vacation destinations, etc. And then each one of us created mind maps about ourselves. And then the idea is you should not show and explain your personal map to others, because then we all know what the extroverts are going to do. The extroverts will talk, right? And the introverts are done in 5 seconds. It's not fair. So no talking about your personal map. The others have to ask questions. Like, hey, Lisette, what's this over here? Oh, that's Switzerland, and we had just climbed a mountain. And so the questions have to be asked from the team. This is another one. This is from Hannu. Hannu is a web developer, and Hannu is from Finland, which is totally obvious because there's almost nothing on the personal map, as you can see. My friends in Finland pride themselves that they are very economical with communication. Right? They talk as little as possible. My name is Hannu. I'm from Finland. All right, first question. Where in Finland, Hannu? Helsinki. That's Finnish communication. Have you ever seen Finnish design? Finnish design is, there's no need to fill empty space with crap. I love it. I love Finnish people. This is Sergey, our software developer, as you can see. Awesome. I love these personal maps because the way people make personal maps already says something about what kind of people they are. It reveals something about them. There's Dave from a workshop, very colorful person apparently. Terry, wow, that looks amazing. So very different people, very different personal maps that they create. This was just an experiment. This was me trying something out, and it seemed to work. And I was not afraid as a leader in an organization that tries to be agile to just experiment, see if something works. And that's the point I'm trying to cross. I learned and I got where I am now by running lots of experiments, and half of them failed, but half of them succeeded. Another topic, happiness, super important. My previous book was called Managing for Happiness. So I looked into that topic. How do we get people to be more happy? And it's an interesting topic, because there seems to be some disagreement about happiness and success. Some people think that success leads to happiness. Other people think that happiness leads to success. Which is it? Let's see, people in the audience. I'm curious to see how many hands go up. How many of you think that it is usually success that makes people happy? Let me see some hands. It's usually success that makes people happy. Okay, I see a few hands. All right, so maybe 10% of the audience. Yep. How many of you think, well, usually it's happiness of people that leads to them being successful? Lots more hands. Okay, right. Yeah. Well, it is a little bit of both, actually. So Sean Aker, who wrote a fantastic book, said, we know that happiness is the precursor to success, not merely the result. So he says happiness comes before success, but also success comes a little bit before happiness. So it should be like a virtuous circle. But then Phil Rosenzweig, he also wrote an amazing book. He says, does employee satisfaction lead to high performance? Probably, but the reverse effect is stronger. So usually performance leads to satisfaction. But he calls it satisfaction, not happiness, which is a little bit different. So it's a very confusing, complicated topic. Doesn't matter. We know for a fact that happy people are more productive. That's the only thing that you need to remember. Happy people do more work. They're more efficient, more effective. They're just enjoying their jobs, and they squeeze in that extra few minutes to get stuff done. So that is something that we want, of course, in an agile organization. We love productive people. So what is it that makes people happy in their jobs? Well, I did a little bit of research there. I checked the literature. It was, I remember I was in Argentina, fascinating country. Everyone is happy, nothing works. It's amazing. It's amazing, yeah. You arrive at Buenos Aires airport and there are 17 cash machines and all of them are broken. But the most surprising thing, they're all broken in different ways. That's a talent. That's a talent. There's a different error message on each of them. That's fantastic. Anyways, so no possibility to get any cash. So I was somewhere in the city center of Buenos Aires a number of years ago, sipping a cocktail. I don't remember how I paid for it. I probably sold the air conditioning of my hotel room or something like that. But anyways, I was looking into the happiness topic, being in a very happy country. And this is what I learned from the research, because there's plenty of research there. What makes people happy? Well, thank someone every now and then, be appreciative. Give something to another person. Help someone who's in need of assistance. That makes you happy. Eat well, healthy foods. I had a tagine yesterday. Exercise. I ran yesterday. Rest well. Experience new things. Run experiments. Hike outdoor. Enjoy nature. Meditate. Mindfulness practices. Socialize. Hang out with other people. Aim for a goal, a purpose in life. And finally, smile whenever you can, even when you have to fake it. That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Amy Cuddy is a professor. She has a very famous TED Talk. She says, your body posture changes the way you feel and the way you behave. So if you feel a little bit sad, just paint that smile on your face. Just smile. And then your facial muscles will trick your brain into believing that you're a bit happier, and then you will be a bit happier. It's amazing how the human body works. It's just amazing. So I call these the 12 steps to happiness. Happiness is not a destination. Happiness is something that you do. Happiness is something that you work on every day. I run every day, not a single day I skip. So I ran yesterday and it made me happy. Wow, I'm in Casablanca running along the boulevard. What a crazy life I have. That makes me happy. I have other examples. I was in a company in Spain, in Barcelona, where they had a meditation room. A meditation room. They called it the Alegría room, the happiness room. Wonderful. They had pillows and yoga mats and all that kind of stuff. Very colorful room for people to meditate and practice mindfulness. I know companies that help people have healthier food during the day. Or I know companies where they have kudo cards. That's cards of appreciation that you can write for each other as a thank you note. And then all the kudo cards, they go on the wall, and it makes people very happy to get a card from someone or to write a card for someone. Very simple thing to do. I once practiced hiking with my software developers. We did code reviews outside in the sun. I told them, print those classes and objects and interfaces. I'm a software engineer. I know what I'm talking about. So print all that crap and let's take it outside in the sun. And they were like, what? Are you crazy? No, just believe me. I had to basically drag them from their caves outside into the air, bright air. And they were like, oh my God, what's that thing up there? And that's the sun. They'd never seen it before. They're always in their caves. So that's the sun. It doesn't hurt you. No, you cannot swipe it off. And just sit over there. And then we had a code review, and that was very nice. And then we did that every week or so when the sun was shining. Okay, let's just get out of the office. And I admit it was only 50 meters. So hiking is a bit of a stretch, I admit. But at least it was getting out in the fresh air, and that makes people happy as well. So there's a poster on the Management 3.0 website, the 12 steps to happiness. You just put it on the wall, and that's a good reminder for any leader, for anyone working with a team, an Agile coach, to practice on happiness. Because happiness is a decision, is not a destination. You can decide to be happy every day, and then be more productive as well. So, a couple of other examples. This one. I told you about the bell, but when should we ring the bell? Should we ring the bell for successes? Yay! We achieved the deadline, or we delivered a project, or a baby, or whatever. Or should we also celebrate failure? I hear it in the Agile community quite often. Well, let's celebrate failure. There are even conferences, fail conferences in the world, where people to come together to just talk about their failure. Yay, my startup failed. I wasted $1 million. Woohoo! How many of you think every now and then it is okay to ring the bell to celebrate that you failed? Let me see some hands. It's okay, we ring the bell, we failed, we ring the bell. Yeah, okay. Well, good number of hands, maybe 20, 25%. Okay. How many of you think, well, that's all very nice, but I still prefer to ring the bell for successes. Successes, that seems to make more sense. Okay. That's 70, 80%. Okay. How many of you say, let's just ring it all the time. Failure, success, doesn't matter. Party, party. Yes, that's Morocco, of course. I knew it. I knew it. The moment I landed, I thought, they're celebrating everything here. Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense at all. So here's a picture. Here's a picture that I distilled from a book called The Principles of Product Development Flow. You should forget it immediately because it's unreadable. It's super intelligent stuff by Donald Reinerson. I just saw him again 3 weeks ago. I said, Donald, you're 10 times smarter than anyone else on the planet. You should not be allowed to write any books anymore. But anyways, this is a picture based on his writing. And from his book, I learned that celebrate failure is this part of the diagram of the celebration grid. When you celebrate failure, you fail. You celebrate also from making mistakes, from being an idiot. Why would you celebrate that? There's no reason to celebrate that. Yeah, it makes sense to celebrate successes, but there's a catch. When you only celebrate success, people have an incentive to only repeat good practices. Because good practices have a very high chance of success. We already know that they work. That's why they are good practices. So let's do them again. That's safe, right? It feels safe, feels comfortable for people. But then who is going to do the uncomfortable stuff in the middle? The experiments. The things that have a good chance of failing. Because the whole point of running experiments is that you learn most there. This is where all the learning happens. When there's a 50-50 chance of succeeding or failing, then the information density is highest according to information theory. So we have to run experiments in order to learn. But then what do you do when you fail, right? That's scary, hoo-hoo. And that's why many companies have this fear of failure, because people have always only celebrated successes, which is dangerous. So the other thing that you should celebrate is learning. You celebrate when you learn something, even when you failed. That's okay. That means if you did something stupid, but you learn from it, you celebrate. Only the first time. Next time, you punish yourself, right? That's how it works. So you celebrate the bell for learning. So I call this a celebration grid because it's a reminder for people when to celebrate. You celebrate not only success, but also the learning. And you can use it at the end of a retrospective or a workshop or anywhere else when you want to discuss with people, what are the experiments that we want to run? What are the good practices that we recognize? What are the stupid mistakes that we made? Well, this team has been very stupid, as you can see. Most sticky notes are in the stupid column. No idea what team that was. But yeah, this is a useful tactic and a great management theory practice. Now I'm exactly halfway, and I want to give you the summary of what I think management theory is all about, and then I move on to something different, in the introduction of change. So I think companies need to build for meaning. This company is not just there to be profitable, to make a lot of money. That is important to make money, otherwise you die. But it is like breathing oxygen for people, right? The purpose is not to breathe air. We need the air in order to other stuff. Companies need money in order to change things in the world. But for that, we need innovative management. As managers, we need to innovate, not only as software developers, not only as engineers, but everyone in the company. And that means we have to accelerate learning, run experiments all the time. It helps to add a dash of playfulness, because as children, we know long ago that we experiment when we play, right? So make the environment playful, and then people will run more experiments. And nurture the happiness in the system, and manage the system, not the people. They can self-organize, they can manage each other, like the people in my kitchen. They could lead with each other, but someone had to prepare the kitchen for them. So manage the system, not the people. So that's the midway summary of what management theory is all about, and what you will need if you want to be an agile organization. But there are problems. There's not enough change. It doesn't matter whether you talk about leadership practices or agile practices or whatever. I'm sure there are agile coaches in the room here, and scrum masters and developers and whatnot. You all want people to change. You want your companies to change, and the comments are always the same wherever I go. Jurgen, there's not enough change. There's not enough happening. It doesn't go fast enough. What do we do? And I try to contribute with my talks and my workshops and my books, and other people make frameworks, etc. But there's nothing happening. This is one slide from the State of Agile report. It is basically the same every year. The number one problem with adopting and scaling Agile is organizational culture. There's a problem. And a general resistance to change. Every year it's the same thing. People resist change, and organizational culture is an issue. People resist change. Well, some say people resist being changed. Okay, that's a subtle difference, I agree, but the result is the same. Nothing happens. You can argue about the why, but the result is the same. Nothing happens in the organization. Now here's a question for you. How many of you in this room have resisted this change? Smartphones. 1, 2, 3. The last 3 people in Morocco, I think. Hold on. Okay. How many of you have never played games before, whether it's online or offline, on Facebook or whatever? It doesn't matter where. Never played. Oh, I don't play games. I just read books. I just read scientific literature. Same 3. The same 3. I thought so. How many of you, maybe the same 3, maybe the same. How many of you have never used streaming audio or video? No Spotify, no Netflix, no YouTube, just books. Just books, paper books, right? Paper books. I feel you, yeah. Anyone has resisted this change? No Spotify, no Netflix? No hands go up. Okay, so plenty of change has happened in the last few years, right, in the world. So anyone who claims that people resist change is just... Oh, I'm sorry, that's a spelling error. It has to be incognizant, sorry. Yeah, sorry. It's not incognizant, it's incognizant. It means that we don't know how change happens. Change is something complicated. It doesn't just happen out of the blue. It is something more subtle. I will show you. We want agility at scale. We want those management theory practices, or you want Scrum, or you want SAFe, or you want whatever. It doesn't matter. All kinds of Agile methods and frameworks. But it doesn't just happen magically. You have to work for it. And I will show you what is involved. Why people change. I was at in New York City a number of years ago, promoting my book, Managing for Happiness. And I was at Union Square, minding my own business, reading a book, not listening to Spotify, just reading a book, on Kindle though. Not paper, on Kindle. And there were people from all over the planet and lots of different languages and skin colors and body types and clothes and whatnot. But everyone, there was like 3 years ago or something, everyone was playing this game. Do you remember that? Pokemon. So they were chasing monsters, and they were, oh, a Snorlax has appeared, run! And then the entire room the entire park was off running to find the Snorlax, and I was sitting on my bench in the park like, the world has gone insane. This is madness. This is absurd. People talking with strangers about virtual monsters. And then I sat there and I thought, and something clicked for me. I thought, I am trying so hard to get people to adopt management theory practices, to use a celebration grid or moving motivators or delegation poker or a bell or whatever. And other people try so hard to get companies to adopt Scrum, and it takes years for just 500 people to be agile. And then within 4 weeks, half the world is playing Pokemon Go. It's not fair. How do they do that? Why can we not have half the world play with Scrum within just 4 weeks? We're doing something wrong. Something is off. Now, this is what is wrong. Usually we come to people with lists of rules, like clay tablets from a mountain or something like that, like a Scrum guide with lots of rules. Starting next week, thou shalt honor thy product owner and Scrum Master. Starting next week, thou shalt not kill thy customer. And lots of rules, yeah. And it doesn't work like that. And usually those experts, they are white and have gray hair like me and everything. So it doesn't work. It reminds me of this book. I run every day, as I told you, but in the beginning I ran badly and I had everything hurt in my body. So I thought maybe I should learn how to run better. So I started reading some books, and this was one of the books that I read. And I flipped through the book. It was a paper book, actually. And I saw page after page after page after page of instructions. Oh my God. In the third week, on the second day, you run 5 kilometers. And on the third day, you do 7, but slower. And on the fourth day, you take a break. And on the fifth day, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I felt all the motivation drained from me. I didn't want to run in. Instead of running, I wanted to go drinking, basically. I wanted to drink. It's no surprise that the author's name is Jack Daniels, as you can see. I think this is just a marketing trick. Nobody's running. Everyone is just drinking after reading that book. So, so lots of problems with organizational change. I'll list the problems here. I'm not going to name them all, but it's just too many. We need something else. But everyone played Pokemon Go in just a few weeks. How is that possible? Well, because it's a game. People love games. Jane McConigal in Reality is Broken said, all of the neurological and physiological systems that underlie happiness are fully activated by gameplay. We play games because they make us feel happy. because it triggers everything on us. That's why we play them. So what is it that people do in games? Well, here's an example. This is World of Warcraft. I don't know if the numbers are still correct, but a few years ago, people on average played 23 hours per week World of Warcraft. That's half a work week. They invested in that game. That's amazing. And what do they do in such an environment? Well, they form teams. Yeah, they form teams, and they. I have no idea where the sound comes from. It's over here. Typical Scrum project. Everything blows up, and then they deliver to the customer. You're too late, old friend. No. Doesn't matter. Doesn't work well. The customer says, "You're too late, old friend." But I have a new challenge, Makara or something like that. He just got a new project. That's a new quest that they got. So the team collects artifacts, and they have to practice, and they have to find stuff and do exercise with each other, and then they do a quest. It's a project basically, but in games they call it a quest, and then suddenly it's exciting. And then, well, all of that is just work that people do together. It's amazing. So Jane said, game developers know better than anyone else how to inspire extreme effort and reward hard work. That's gamification. That's figuring out what is it people love doing and applying that in real life. This application of game design elements in non-game context, like for example, organizational productivity. That's what gamification is all about. I'll give you some examples. I run every day. That is gamification. Why? Because I like to extend my streak. The last streak was 105 days. And then I took a break. Now I am on day 30 or something, I think. So I have a while to go, but I'm going to beat my streak. I want to get at least to 106 now. So that's how I gamify it for myself. I make it fun. You can do that with children as well. If you want them to brush their teeth, you give them a box of stickers and a calendar. You tell them, you brush your teeth twice per day. And if you do that, you can put a sticker on the calendar. They love it. Adults love it as well. It works with everyone. Yes, let's call it extending the streak, or don't break the chain. And there's another one, another example. I was with a company in the Netherlands, and they told me, we have gamification as well. We have an app in our stores. There was a telecom provider, and they gamified getting feedback about each other. So when you as a store employee give feedback to her, ka-ching, you get a point. Like, I think you could come on time next time in the morning. Ka-ching, you feel happy, right? Oh, happy, yeah. And then you give points to him and say, well, I think you could maybe wear something better tomorrow. Ka-ching, you get a point. So everyone gets points for giving constructive feedback to others. And I was there sitting, okay, interesting. So I asked the manager, do the managers participate in this? And said, no, just the employees. Oh, okay. And what's the purpose? Why would people want to collect points? Well, to be at the top of the leaderboard. Yeah, but why? Why do we want to be at the top of the leaderboard? Well, that's what people want. Okay, we're not getting anywhere here. We're not getting anywhere. That's a bad way of gamification. This is Octalysis by Yukai Chao. He is one of the world's famous leaders in gamification. And games, points, badges, and leaderboards is all here. Accomplishment. It is true. Accomplishment motivates people. We love earning points. But it's not the only example of gamification. If that's the only thing that you do, it's a very poor implementation, because there are 7 other corners of the model. I'll give you an example. Someone asked me, Jurgen, we have the Kuda box in our company, but it doesn't really work well. We have people not writing compliments for each other. There are cards everywhere, all over the office. Nobody's writing them. And I said, well, maybe that's the problem. There are too many cards. Did you know that people are motivated by scarcity? That's why gold is so popular. It's a useless metal, but everyone wants to have it because there's only so much available. Scientists know this. When there are two cookie jars, one is nearly empty, the other is nearly full, most people want cookies from the nearly empty cookie jar, because those are probably the better cookies, because there are just a few. Yeah. We are motivated by scarcity. So he said, you should get rid of all those kudo cards and give just a few to everyone. Just give 3 cards per person. These are the only cards you get this week. The only card. That makes them valuable. Suddenly that useless piece of paper has become valuable. I bet that you will see the response rate go up. People will start writing more cards because suddenly the cards have value. So that's scarcity over it. That's called a magnetic cap, by the way. You set a cap on something and then magnetically the response rates go up. I will skip this one. So Octalis says that this model is a gamification, a motivational model. It shows you that there are many more possibilities. One other example, someone said, Jurgen, we have a Friday afternoon drink and we think it's important for people to come to the drink on Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, but very few people show up. It's usually only the Agile coaches who are there because they have nothing to do. Okay. So how can we get more people to show up? Well, I said I should maybe do something silly, something playful, like take the silly selfie every Friday afternoon with the people who are there. As silly as possible. Go to the CEO's office and sit on his desk and take a selfie. Yay! Something like that. And put those photos on the coffee machine, and then you will start seeing more and more photos with sillier and sillier selfies, and you will start noticing that some people are never there. Social pressure will start building up, right? And some people take credit, like this is the silliest selfie. That was mine. I took that one. Yeah. So there's a bit of accomplishment and pride. So that's over here, empowerment, social influence. Nothing to do with points. Nothing to do with badges. So where is the fun, and where is the engagement in organizational change? I often don't see it. How do we get to new achievement levels in implementing Scrum or SAFe or whatever it is that we're working on? I often don't see it. I just see lots of presentations and slides, and that's the only thing. We don't need more frameworks. We need fun and fireworks in the company. That is how people change, by gamifying things. Last 3 minutes. I made it a habit to run. I looked into habit forming because I wanted to teach myself running. Well, this is the famous habit cycle. It has different names, but everyone comes to the same conclusion. There's a trigger, an action, and reward. First of all, something triggers people to do stuff. Like, if you want to practice playing a guitar, why not put the guitar next to your favorite chair? So when you go sit in your chair with your coffee, you're like, hey, my guitar. Maybe I can play a few notes. Don't hide it somewhere in the closet, because then you're never going to take it out. If you want to start running, put the shoes next to your bed. So when you get up in the morning, you're already in your shoes. You might as well go out. Maybe put some clothes on. You might as well go running. So make it as easy as possible. Then use the environment. Something should trigger the action. And then make the habit, the thing, as small as possible. Like one author in one of the running books said, first time, just run 1 kilometer. Just walk. I don't care. Just get out of the house, take a walk, and that's it. And do that every day. Make that a habit. And once that is a habit, then you increase the size. Because if you start with 5 or 7 or 10 kilometers, that's just, oh my God, that's a lot of energy. And in the beginning, it's not fun. It will take a while for you to feel the endorphin and everything, and you feel happy from the running itself. In the beginning, it doesn't happen. That means you have to trick yourself with a reward. The habit cycle always has to end with a reward. Well, in the beginning, I gave myself chocolates. Only on the days when I ran, I earned chocolate. Because I love chocolate. So that's how I gamified it for myself. I earned it. And then after a while, the habit started forming. I ran every day, and then I felt great. Then the feeling good is the reward. I don't need the chocolate anymore, because now I know that I will feel good from running. But that takes a few months. most people will have given up before then. So in the short term, you'll just have to use gamification to trick yourself and keep going until the real benefits are earned. So that's the habit cycle, trigger, action, reward. You combine it with gamification, then you can solve that change problem. So where are many of the small rewards for small step progress? I often don't see it. People are expected to go to a 2-hour retrospective and they're like, oh my God, that's a huge meeting. Why not do the first retrospective as 5 minutes near the coffee machine? That counts as a retro as well. Make it a small habit. Every day, 5 minutes retro near the coffee machine. And from there, you might build it up over time when you're able to do that small thing. Don't make things a rule, make things a habit. Because we don't live by rules, people live by habits. Rules are for machines. People need habits. Recap, people want agility at scale, but nobody knows how to change. We're really bad at introducing change in companies. That means that we need no more fireworks, no more frameworks, we need more fireworks, make it more fun. And finally, don't make it a rule, make it a habit. And that's, I think, how agility can scale in any organization, if you learn how people really, really change. Okay. So, that's it. Thank you very much for Humanity for getting me here. Thanks for getting me to Morocco. I have a coupon code. Anyone who's interested in my last book, Startup, Scale Up, Screw Up, I have a coupon code for this shop. Just take a picture, go to that URL or that QR code. With this coupon code, you get a 25% discount. So lots of pictures taken. All right, awesome. And finally, I invite you to try gamification with me because I'm trying to gamify certification in the Agile world. If you're interested in that, sign up here, bit.ly, shift-up-sign up. Happy to gamify the hell out of the certification programs that are very traditional still in the Agile world. I want to do that in a more modern way with gamification. So working on that, and I'll hand it over back to the organizers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jurgen. Donc, on arrive à la fin de la première keynote d'ouverture. Donc, je répète pour ceux qui n'étaient pas là. Donc, n'oubliez pas de vous donner vos feedbacks par rapport à la keynote et toutes les conférences qui vont suivre après. Il suffit juste de scanner le QR code que vous avez. Il y a un QR code que vous avez. Il suffit juste de le scanner. Et là, en fait, vous allez trouver la keynote d'ouverture. Il faut juste donner vos feedbacks. C'est bon pour tout le monde? D'accord. Et n'oubliez pas de partager vos photos sur les réseaux sociaux, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Dans les salles, on vous a donné le hashtag, c'est Agile en Med et Agile Med Maroc. C'est les deux hashtags de la conférence d'aujourd'hui. Je répète, c'est Agile en Med, Agile Med Maroc. Il y aura des bouquins à gagner à la fin de la journée. Donc pour gagner le Definition of Done, c'est les deux hashtags et de liker soit la page Facebook, la page LinkedIn ou Twitter. C'est bon? C'est vraiment la Definition of Done pour gagner des bouquins à la fin de la journée, les deux hashtags et de liker la page Agile en Méditerranée, Facebook, LinkedIn et Agile-Med pour le Twitter. Ouais.
Et aussi un Definition of Done de Humanity. Si vous voulez gagner le livre de Jurgen, le dernier livre, juste mettez votre carte de visite dans le stand de Humanity. C'est une Definition of Done un peu plus simple, mais c'est un seul livre.
Mais on a beaucoup de livres. Mais c'est toujours des livres, c'est bien. Voilà. Je vous souhaite une excellente journée. Là, on va commencer en fait. Vous avez un choix très intéressant pour les conférences qui vont suivre derrière. Donc sur cette salle, il y aura le Rex de Saham Assurance. Dans les autres salles Rabat, il y a Koussé, Marrakech. Il y aura des indications pour vous guider sur la salle Marrakech, Tanger et Fès. Donc s'il vous plaît, n'oubliez pas le partage. Partagez vos photos, vos émotions. de la journée par les hashtags Agile en Med et Agile Med Maroc et de liker la page LinkedIn, Facebook. Voilà. Et nous avons notre facilitateur graphique qui est toujours là.